Hello, everyone. We are back and in full effect. This is the closing table. I am James Garman.
This is Daniel White, your Florida realtor insurance man.
Yes, sir. It's definitely been a crazy day, man. Not crazy day. I'm assuming it's a crazy day already because shit has already been crazy for the past few months. But overall, yes, it has been a crazy week, crazy month, a crazy quarter when it comes to
Can't,
the
can't
world.
be crazy today, James. Today's May the 4th be with you, my friend.
Man, I listen. I hope that really is the case. And again, I think I've been really good at avoiding the the BS of the world. I try to stay to myself, and I know you probably in the same boat. But it's just really crazy that a lot of things are happening that may not affect us, but may affect people that we love. Man, it's really wild.
It's it's only getting crazier. Um, it's the main reason why I try to stay away from the news. But something like certain things pop up, whether it's rate increases, president talk, ex-president talk, shootings and stuff like that. Man, it's insane, and then it piles up. When you hear one negative thing, it seems like you get five or six more negative things.
Yeah, it just
It's
keeps
just
happening. Just keeps
it's
happening.
absolutely crazy.
So, welcome everybody again. This is the closing table. Welcome Dolores. Welcome Destiny. Thank you all for showing up this morning, supporting the channel. B Walker, thank you. Morning to you as well. Well, we got some things to talk about today. Exciting, scary things to talk about. And before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live. So you can, come and see our beautiful faces on the closing table whenever you get a chance. Every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 a.m. to roughly about 7:30, 7:45 a.m. This morning, we're going to kind of be talking about the things that are happening in the economy today, yesterday, and pretty much what we can look forward towards, the rest of the quarter. If you have any questions, please jump in the comment section. If you want to respond to anything we're currently talking about, please jump in the comment section. We would love for your interactions to help us, go through this podcast, and we love it. We just love interactions overall. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
we like talking. Is that what it is,
yeah,
James?
we like talking. We like talking. I agree. Before we get started, man, let me jump right in here, man, and get in and set up the premise. First of all, we want to talk about the Fed hike. The stocks tumbled yesterday. Of course, that is common after the Feds spiked the damn interest rate. We know that we had another bank failure the other day. PacRest tanked, plunged. They plunged more than 50%. I wish I knew about that. I would have definitely went bearish. I would have did a few call. I mean, put options on that. I wasn't paying attention, unfortunately, so I missed out on that money play. But it is what it is. I'm pretty sure a lot more of these banks will at some point, start to plummet as well.
So, what do you think about J.P. Morgan taking over first? Was it First National Bank or something
First
like that? And
Republic.
then coming out and saying that this is the banking crisis is over. That we're all done with it. And then the next day, it's like sticking your foot in your mouth, right?
Right. I mean, not only are we're going to be talking about the world is going to shit, but I'm glad you brought that up because our banks crashing or consolidating is the one of the topics that I wanted to talk about. And Bernadette brought this to my attention this morning because she was watching something that was really interesting. That really jogged my thought process and made me really question: are banks crashing, or this is just a ploy to consolidate? Like we are living in times where one thing may seem like something, but it may end up being something totally different. So what they're telling us is bank crashes. But if you actually look at the actual structures and then you look at the histories of most of these banks, they're consolidating. These banks are horrible. First Republic was horrible. They've been bailed out 4 or 5 times over the past 5 years. Like they've pumped it, they've infused this bank multiple times over the last 5 years to try to keep this bank from crashing, quote unquote. Because again, we're looking at places like Credit Suisse, which is a bank in Switzerland, who is freaking horrible. That's a horrible bank. If you look at their policies, if you look at the way they've been running their business over the last 80 years, these people have been horrible. They've never followed the rules. They never did anything, that was even considered borderline legit. They've hired spies to spy on ex um, employees, ex members of their board. They've done so much negative. It was at some point this bank as well was going to fall under this, umbrella of not surviving.
Yeah.
Why are we trusting banks anyways? Who are bankers? Bankers is they're no different than me and you, who's we're letting average regular people manage our money. So yeah, I think they're consolidating. I don't think these banks are crashing. I think they're consolidating. We are headed into uh, a new crypto, which is the unicorn, the Fed now token. We're headed into this new world of banking, this new world of money, and I think this is just a new ploy to get involved. This is just a new ploy to get involved. I think this probably been rolling out longer than we can expect, Danny.
So the big fish is eating the small fish is
Big,
basically what's happening here. And they're hungry.
they're
So,
hungry. I mean, and again, why not? I mean, why wouldn't you? That's one thing that we're going to be talking about later. That I kind of put together in our mastermind
well,
for
I
our
mean,
agents.
it makes sense, right, James? Because they're looking at it, they let them fail, and then they can come in and buy the dollar amount that they have at 30 cents on the dollar and take over the assets, run through the portfolio, probably then turn around and go to the government and say, okay, look, this is 30% of this book of business is just crap. We can't do anything with it. And then they get some type of, benefit, some
Incentive,
type of
yeah.
little incentive to manage it and kind of deal with it and stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a big play going on right now.
And and I guess
I
another
just heard a commercial coming in this morning, with a credit union. We're top 5 credit union across the nation and all that stuff. And again, I mean, credit unions are good. I have a credit union. I have a regular banking account with Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase. I'm with all of them. There's no exception. But again, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citibank, stuff like that, the Wells Fargo, those banks are huge. I mean, they're definitely buying up these smaller banks, these mom and pop banks.
and again is the question. The question is this a ploy? If this is a ploy, then we have to ask ourselves the real question: how long had this ploy been going on? And are they letting them fail or are they helping them fail? A lot of these banks have made so much money. These not even banks. Let's not even say the banks. Let's say the bank owners, the people on the board of the banks, the bank managers. These people have made so much money over the last 10, 15 years, and they've mismanaged a lot of the people's money, to the point where they're trying to do things to keep up with the bigger banks. And the bigger banks are knowing that, okay, well, at some point this is about to happen, so let's go ahead and let you make all the money you can make. We'll come in and buy it out, make it seem like we're saving the bank, but all we're doing is just moving one bank to the next. I remember when Truist, I bank with Truist now, when I do come to my
They were
personal
what was they were Sunco? No, they were
SunTrust.
SunTrust.
SunTrust. You
SunTrust.
know, one of the big SunTrust, one of the biggest banks, you know, on the planet. When it comes to American banking, is financial institutions. And look what happened. Like they were consumed, and now they're a Truist, which is great. Truist is a great bank. I love how they're structured. I love their technology that they use for banking, but it shows us that everybody is at risk of being consumed, which is bringing us all into one banking or one world government when it comes to our currency. B. Walker's here said they are. Yep, she said they're not failing. They're telling us they're failing, but not in mass. Um, no, because we're going towards digital dollar. We don't have to. We don't have to, but people are hypnotized to believe we have no choice, and this is again part of the structure, forcing us to believe that there's no choice, that this is the outcome that we are headed towards because of lack of management knowledge and economical restraints that we have set ourselves up on. So I do agree with everything you're saying. But yeah, I mean that's just a small part of what's going on in the world. Like,
James, I think it's going to get crazier. And hear me out. You and I have had these conversations on
yes,
on camera and off camera. with whatever is going on, whether we call it a reset, financial crisis, rate hikes going up, what I've noticed over the years in the real estate business is that most commercial owners can't get the loans that they want at the big banks. I'm not talking about your sky rises downtown, stuff like that. But I'm talking about your office buildings, a little bit older, something like that. Usually your smaller banks. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. Um, those smaller banks, as soon as this commercial craziness bubble, whatever you want to call it, these balloons that were taken out when interest rates were 2%, and now they're at 6%, and they're going to have to refinance at 7% on a $5 million building, whatever it is. That's a different level right there. And I think we're going to see another round of the smaller banks collapsing because of the commercial industry that is coming real soon, if not in the next 12 months, the next 18 months.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean,
makes sense, right? When was COVID? 19?
20, 21.
20. So if you did a 5-year, balloon note, 5-10 years. So we're going to be right in the mix of it, end of 24 to 2028. I think we're going to start seeing some commercial collapse.
And with that commercial collapse, again, we're looking at who is it going to affect? Who is it going to affect mainly at the end of the day? It's not going to affect the middle class. The middle class doesn't matter, when it comes to commercial buildings. But the people who want to consider themselves high rollers at this point, they're going to be affected. And if they're affected, then who they got to come after to make up those differences? Well, if you're in the middle class, or what we consider the middle class these days, you're going to be affected by that. You're going to be affected because you're going to get taxed. They have to tax you to make up for the loss of the rich. And again, I don't make the rules. I just live by them, just like everybody else. I don't think I'm considered to be in the financial class of those who run the world and those who make the decisions of changing interest rates, taking up, spiking the interest rates 25, 30 basis points, 10, 11 times over a year. I would love one of those positions. I mean, those positions seem to be safe in the world of finances these days.
They're busy. They're busy right now, James. They're busy,
man. And right now, I'm not sure. I haven't really did any more research on it. But did we come up with a solution to the debt ceiling? Did the debt ceiling solution actually occur? Or are we still, debating on over who's going to take a pay cut in the government? Are we still debating on if our military is going to be, put on pause? Like, what is that debt ceiling looking like? We have a lot going on in the world, and I think we can't be too caught up in the small BS that is going on the daily news. And again, definitely shout out to our family member, team member Shantae, who was down there in the lunch in the building just yesterday when a guy came in shooting up the hospital. And it wasn't one of those situations. They just say he was off his meds. He came down there to get his medicine. They refused to give him his medicine, the medicine that would help him. And he couldn't take it. He just had a mental episode. And I guess, he's one of those guys that carry his gun with him and put his gun out and shot 4 people and killed 1. But very tragic situation yesterday. It's really close to home. I've never known someone that was involved in a mass shooting. If we can call it a mass shooting, right? 5, 6 people shot at one time in one place. I think we can call it a mass shooting to that degree. So that was really crazy to know that it was that close to home in that sense, because we can all agree, Danny, when the world or our economical, structure is being shaken, when there's people who are losing their jobs, when there's people who can't afford medical attention or afford good medical attention, or when there's people who's getting divorced, on top of losing their job, on top of not being able to pay their rent, on top of not being able to pay their car notes, shit gets real. People are on the brink of just, they're on the brink of just snapping, bro.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was a little close to home. We had a similar incident I don't know how long ago, 6 months ago, maybe even, yeah, maybe 6, 8 months ago, close here. We had a family member that was working out at a gym, and all of a sudden you're getting all these notices and messages. You're getting friends calling, hey, are your kids at the gym? Are you at the gym? What's going on? Stuff like that. And I mean, we knew somebody that was inside that gym at the time what was going on, why there was a shooting, right?
Right.
It's just scary. Like yesterday when we saw the messages, and we're like, you almost have to take a double look at it. You're like, wait a minute, that's one of our partners in that building. Wow. And then you switch over to like, man, another one, like another shooting, like it's just it gets a little too real, my friend, a little too real. It's a little too scary. And God, I just, everybody woke up that morning, going to the doctor's office to get their meds, get checked up on all of that stuff, and they're not thinking that someone's going to pull out a gun and start shooting up the waiting room area, right?
Yeah. It's wild, man.
It's a scary thing out there, man. I don't know what your gun laws are in Georgia.
Oh, open carry.
Anybody, you got to be licensed,
No,
or
they actually just removed the must be licensed a year ago. Yeah.
okay. So we just did the same thing here in Florida.
I hate that too. I kind of hate that still. I don't like I don't I mean I carry my gun, of course, but I'm licensed. I have my license. I still carry my license, even though it's open carry. We don't need a license. I still carry my license. I still present my license if I get pulled over. Someone asks me. But we're in a world where you have to kind of be prepared to that extent. We're realtors, we're insurance people. We go into different types of neighborhoods. We go into different type of areas where you don't know what's going to happen. You have no idea. So I think it's better to protect yourself than not be protected. That's just me personally.
I agree. So I'll give you a quick story that happened yesterday, right? And I just told my wife this as I was driving into work. So yesterday I go up, I'm going to go visit my son really quick. And I walk in, and most people there at his office or at his place of work know who I am, stuff like that. So I walk in, and I didn't know the hostess, and I'm like, I'm here to see my son. I brought him an energy drink. I just want to say hi, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, this waiter goes, oh, who's your son? And I go, his name. And he made this little joke. He's like, Parsley, blah, blah, blah. And I looked over at the hostess, and I go, this guy realized that I'm twice his size. And then I looked back at him, and I'm joking. And he's like, I'm joking too, parsley, sage, cilantro, stuff like that. I'm thinking, okay. And then we're walking back. He's walking me, my son, and he goes, doesn't matter. I know you're bigger than me, but I'm strapped. And I go, well, that's great. I go, everybody in this restaurant now can carry as well. And he gives me a fist pump. And I'm like, no, that's the problem. Because if you and I were assholes, we would have shot each other and shot other people around us. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. What they say, again, I think one of the things about the sorry, that was a good.
I got you off.
Yeah, that was a good story, actually. I mean,
I thought about it at the moment, James. I was like, okay, no big deal. But then after I left, I'm like, no, that's the issue. So now you and I start shooting at each other. Other people get shot. Now somebody else thinks that they can solve the problem.
Solve the problem, so they pull out their gun to shoot. Yeah,
dude, it's like the wild, wild west.
And again, we probably need to deep dive and go in that conversation as well, because the Constitution does say, the First Amendment is, you have the right to, freedom of speech. But the second one is you also have the freedom, the right to, bear arms. So whoever wrote the Constitution knew you could say whatever the hell you wanted to say, but you also need to understand the person you're saying it to has the right to bear the arms, So, they understood that if you can say what you want, but you got to also understand that there's going to be some repercussion to the stuff you say. So, I mean, yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from there. The gun situation, I think it's no different than Europe. Europe has a ban on guns, but I see videos all the time that doesn't stop, these little and I ain't gonna say little, but these young men and women from going out here and beating somebody to death with a bat, a iron. You know, they attack people with knives all the time. You know, it's like a gun is a gun. It's just the only thing that's stopping it from being deadly is you as a person. You know, a
Correct.
gun is not going to shoot itself. A knife isn't going to just jump off a counter and stab you. You know, we live in a world where it's the person who's wielding the weapon. Let's talk about that real quick. The guy who just got on the the train the other day, the Michael Jackson impersonator. I don't know if you've seen that, but
Mm-mm.
he got on the train, and he was a little fringe. He was on a fringe a little bit. You know, he was demanding food. He was pretty much telling everybody on the train that he don't mind going back to jail. He don't mind, I guess beating somebody ass. He's going to get what he deserves. And he was just kind of getting everybody upset, riled up. Everybody was quote unquote scared for their lives. And a veteran, a Marine, walked up behind him, try to, calm him down and pretty much put him in a chokehold, put him in a rear naked choke, and held him so long that he died. Now it's an uproar. It's an uproar about racism, white versus black. The guy was black. The white guy is the guy who choked him out. Now we have this race thing going on. For what reason? Like, what is the reason that a man who thought he was doing some type of justice, and subduing a person who they found was to be a threat to them, end up killing a guy. This just happened yesterday, and now is
Where was this at, James?
I think it's in New York, if I'm not mistaken. I can pull it up.
Mm.
Uh, Guy, yeah,
So the Marine was on the train.
Jordan Neely, yeah,
Was there
yeah.
any type of confrontation or anything like that?
Say it again.
Was there any type of confrontation between the Marine and the gentleman that was acting?
No, no, no. I mean, he didn't directly have anything going on with the guy. He was just everybody on the train is stating that the guy pretty much was was just had everybody on edge. He just had everybody on edge, and that kind of created it kind of created this feeling that everybody was
I
that was
got you.
threatened. Yeah, they
Yeah,
was
yeah, they were threatened. I got you.
they felt threatened anyways. But yeah, this just happened. Now there's everybody saying that this was a race thing, da 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 da, and it just kind of goes on and on and on, you know. And this is just more of you know this is just more the BS, that's creating the hostility in America, in the world, and I feel like, and this is just my personal feeling, we have to stop making everything a racial situation when I don't think that's what it was meant to be, and that's just my personal perspective.
James, I cannot agree more with you, my friend. It is the easy way out for every single conversation in every type of conflict, whether it's white, black, Chinese, black, white, whatever it is, Spanish, whatever. Doesn't matter if it's Russian, it's America, it's Chinese, it's whatever. It's always an easy way out, and it's a way. Oh well, they're being racist, they're being this, they're being that. It is absolutely insane, man. At the end of the day, and I've said this before, you know what? We all bleed the same color. We all wake up. Most of us get up on our own 2 feet, go to work every day, trying to provide for our families. Hopefully, we are, you know, trying to make it a better day today, better than it was yesterday, and a better future for all of us around us. If we had that mindset, I think things would be a lot different in this world. But society, news outlets, everything that's out there right now, man, points to, it's the easy way to talk about things and the easy way to push the blame on someone else. And it's a
And
race
yeah,
conversation.
and I agree. I totally agree. I mean, at this point, I feel like, and it's just a feeling. I mean, I'm not I can't be politically correct in any form of fashion. I am quote unquote what is considered. And I say this all the time. I use the quote, I use the quote unquote a lot, because this is what the perception of America has created is that I'm a black guy. And I should feel like everybody else that's black. That this should be an outrageous situation that a white guy killed the black guy. Listen, first of all, that's an American killing another American. Not to downplay anything about the situation. But this is first of all, it's a man killing another man. Then it's an American killing another American. Race shouldn't have anything to do with that. Race shouldn't have anything to do with the fact that one person died. Do I think this man was excessive? Yes, I think this man was excessive. Do I think this man murdered this guy? Sure. Did he have the right to take this situation into his hands the way he did? No. But did he do it because he was black? And no, I don't think he had anything to do with his race. The reason why he did this, it happened the way it happened because that's the way the situation was set up to happen. The man felt threatened. Everybody on the train felt threatened. Somebody took it into their, to their hands.
And he's got a military background, right? So
right.
I mean, like he's already in defense mode at that moment.
We don't know what he went through in military. Don't know how on the fringe he was. But we have one military guy who VA guy just shoot up a building and kill one person and injure four. Why aren't we saying that was racism? Why is that not a racist situation? Why he didn't shoot up the place because he was black or white? We just constantly have. Let me stop sharing this. We just constantly have.
Can you stop, please? Thanks.
Yeah, but we keep having these situations in America that's causing so much.
But this is separation. That's what sells, James. That's what sells. The real news doesn't sell. The real news doesn't sell.
Again, what is the real news? Because they got everybody so induced in just listening to the bullshit every day that we can't focus on things that could actually help our economy overall. So let's keep it moving though. But I wanted to bring that up, just on the basis that there's so much going on. Like we're almost back. We almost back to an election. We know Joe Biden has to respond a certain way to keep his votes. Trump has to respond a certain way to keep his people happy. Everybody has to respond a certain way to situations like this. Now, I don't know if this is going to turn into a George Floyd situation. I don't know why it would, but it seemed like, everybody's always trying to set up these type of scenarios and outcomes around this time of election. It's like the distractions that happen during this time, for election is always strategic. It's too strategic.
James, it's funny because you and I didn't get to talk yesterday because we were both pretty busy and everything. But I'm sure you did some studying and watching some videos and researching last night like I did as well. And something that just is so funny, man. Again, Trump, Biden, we know at the end of the day that I voted for Biden, right? But it was funny because when Trump was running for president, right, all these things came out about him and this and that and all of that stuff. And then the Stormy Daniels thing came out. And now there's this lady that's claiming years ago, 20 years ago, that she was sexually harassed by Trump. And I'm thinking, amazing. All these years, and now we're going to come out into the public. On the flip side, now Biden, right, and his son, and there's some money that they're saying that he was paid some cash for some business transaction with some foreign people. Could be true. But again, how come it wasn't put out years ago? These are unclassified documents. It's a whistleblower. It's like, man, can we just have a normal election and give us the facts of what you're going to do for this country and stop beating other people up? And let's get down to like the real heart of the thing. And that's the U.S. citizens, the Americans, the hardworking men and women of this country that are trying to better themselves and their families. It's just crazy, man. I went through Fox. I went through NBC, MSNBC, I went to CNN, I went to all of those news channels, and it was just like, man, it's just one baseball bat beatdown after another. There you go. What's behind it? It's crazy. James, you may be muted or you're frozen, my friend.
I may have taken me my mic, but we're none of this is.
So you sat there and talked the whole time with a mic.
I didn't say anything important, but no, none of this is going to stop anytime soon. I feel like this is definitely going to be consistent across the board, not probably just for our generation, but for the next 2 or 3 generations.
Yeah,
because I think we're consumed by this negative publicity now. We're overly consumed by this negative publicity now, and it's going to continue to, be a staple in the way we grow. Now, overall, when it comes
Trump and Biden re-election, does it get messy, James? And how messy does it get on a scale of 1 to 10?
I honestly don't think you get any messier than it is, because I think the worst about the both of them is already out. I think it's just going to be back and forth banter about the same BS. If you haven't made your decision yet, you're either not going to make a decision, and just let it be what it is, or you've already made your decision who you're voting for. You know what I mean? At this point, we're beyond anything new that can come out about Trump, unless Trump killed somebody. I mean, at this point, it's
did he make a comment like that he could kill somebody?
I mean, it's very possible.
I think he said something like that when he was president or running for president. I don't know.
But I think all this other stuff is a benign fact. The Joe Biden and the Hunter Biden situation is a benign fact. If they haven't found him guilty of the laptop situation at this point, then what's the point? We just spewing rhetoric back and forth towards each other for no reason.
And that's kind of where I was going with it, is that it's like, I think you're 100% right, James. You've pretty much made up your mind, your decision at this point right now. Some people may change here and there, something may come up and they may get persuaded that way. But at the end of the day, right now, you pretty much are 99.9% made up on who you're going to vote for.
Right. I mean, we're seeing the same things for the past 8 years now. It's been Trump, Biden. Now it's Biden, Trump. So I mean, what more can we see? What more can we see from these two other than, hey, choose who if you haven't choose. If not, don't choose. But overall, the presidential election is going to be, I don't think it's going to be one for the books, because again, all the cards have already been placed on the table at this point. So unless they come up with something with DeSantis, and DeSantis, is out here raping people, then we got a new battle to fight. So yeah. But next thing, man, on the books, man, the Kremlin. I don't know if you've seen the video. Did you see the video?
Oh yeah, the assassination attempt or whatever it is.
Man, that was excuse my language, but that was the worst damn assassination attempt on the planet of war. I mean, in the history of war. Bro, it looked like somebody shot a firework over there, bro.
Set the picture, because at the end of the day, that's like somebody trying an assassination on the president of the United States at the White House. Like that's the setting there. Like, this is a big deal,
bro. Really? You watched that video, right?
Oh, I definitely watched the video. I'm not saying that the assassination attempt wasn't crazy, but just to do it, he's their main guy.
I literally, bro, somebody shot a firework over there, bro. That is come on, bro. That looked like a firework display.
It wasn't the U.S. Well, I don't know.
I mean, if this is all NATO has to shoot at a damn almost impenetrable building like the Kremlin, bro.
Did you see the postcard, or like they made a postcard or a stamp or something like that? Did you see that?
Look at this. No, I didn't. I mean,
so there's this building, and there's a soldier like with a camera, and it's supposed to be all up in flames or whatever. And that's the kind of conversation that they were talking about, is that if it wasn't planned, how did they get that printed or made up so quickly and stuff? So
I can't see it. I'm sorry. I cannot see it. I don't see how this is. I don't see how this is possible. I mean, you see this. Look how small this explosion is. This look like, bro, what is this? What is that? I'm sorry, but I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't wrap my head around that this was an actual attack on the Kremlin. There's no the Russia has not released any proof that they were attacked. I mean, I don't know, man. I can't wrap my head around that this
So
was
what you're
actually
saying is that's a firework gone bad.
firework display going bad, bro. I'm just saying, if this is what war looks like, then we've been sold dreams. Because I could have sworn our like missiles and stuff were way more impactful. Like this just why would you want to set up war based off that? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, the flame wasn't that big, and then Zelensky or whatever went out of town, or went out of the country, and it's more conversation, more craziness.
Like just enough to sway your perspective from something else. I don't know what it is, but just enough to sway your perspective from, I guess, things that are actually happening in the world that could actually be more beneficial to talk about and discuss and focus on. But again,
James, I cannot get the picture of the little firecracker at this point in my life right now.
but this is what I'm saying, man. Like, what is that?
Hey,
What?
watch this, guys. Watch this big explosion. Boosh.
Bro, I've seen bigger explosions at a WWE match when the wrestlers walk out. Like, come on. Like, and again, I'm not big on propaganda anymore. I used to be huge on propaganda, but this seems like propaganda at its finest. I mean, the Ukraine and the Russia war, I think we need to, I think personally, we need to get out of that. We just like, that's not our business. We never, I mean, let Ukraine and Russia handle that. I mean, if they lose, they lose. They win, they win. I just want to stop. I just want to see the fighting stop. I want to see the murder stop. I'm just like, let's move past this. United States, this is really not our fight.
Well, again, because it's an ongoing thing. Like, we're tired of it. Like, it's all the time. Like, can we just get over it? Can you guys sit down and hash this out? Like, it's getting a little overwhelming. We're going on over a year now, and again, I know wars last a long time, but
is this really a war though?
That's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, I don't know. Come November, December, James, we're not going to hear about it anymore, because as soon as they start running the campaigns for the re-election and all of that, it'll be over.
We got enough going on here in America to worry about what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. Last thing, well, one of the last things we're going to talk about is: are you buying stupid shit with your money? And well, are you? Well, that's one question. And what is the worst that can happen to your personal finances during these times? But first thing is, are you buying stupid shit with your money?
What's stupid shit?
Say it again.
What is stupid shit? I need you to clarify this for me before I tell you what I'm buying.
All right. Stupid shit with your money. Are you buying unnecessary wardrobes? Are you going clothing shopping when you already got a closet full of clothes anyways? Are you buying clothes before you sell or donate the clothes you already have and you're no longer wearing? Are you buying new cars when you know the car market is up 11% for a used car and 8.5% for a new car? You know, are you going out and just overspending on your credit card just because you can? Are you putting dumb shit on your credit card just because you can? You know, we're talking about the dumb shit. Are you spending DoorDash? My daughter deleted her DoorDash account, you know, which is good. But yeah, are you DoorDashing 10 times?
Let's talk about that really quick.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
That, I mean, again, we do it as well, right?
Yeah.
You and I, your wife, my wife, you know what? We do DoorDash, we do Uber Eats, stuff like that.
I make DoorDash twice a month because I'm lazy and I don't want to leave. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I can tell you from the younger generation that I seen it just this week alone. I was like, how many times did you order food? Like the place is right around the corner. Take 5 minutes and go drive there. Save yourself $7, $8, $10, whatever it is, right? I'm like, how much money do you spend? Conversation was $800 a month, or $800 last month was spent on Uber Eats and DoorDash. I'm like, that's $800. And then you tell me you don't have money? Like, what? Stop doing that. Go to your Walmart, go to your Publix, go to your Kroger, whatever it is, and go buy the food, make your food, prep it, and bring it in and eat it. Stop spending money just because
you feel like you can.
Yeah.
And my she says she's in the car listening. Well, and I'm assuming one of the reasons she deleted DoorDash is because she no longer has a job to be able to afford DoorDash. So there's no point in having an app on your phone you can't afford. But overall, I think it's a lesson to be learned here.
I'm just saying, I'll call it out if she's listening on the radio right now. Transaction coordinator, they probably make anywhere from $350 to $400 a deal. I mean, the way that your dad and your mom are closing deals right now, you easily could make $3,000 or $4,000 a month off of them. I don't know.
But she's going to be a realtor as soon as she graduates. But yeah, man, I mean, overall though, like we are in a society now where people just feel comfortable spending unnecessary amounts of money. There's a difference between being cheap and there's a difference between being conservatively, frugal. I've been honestly most of the majority of my life, I've been cheap. Being cheap doesn't always mean it's a good thing because it's the boot rule. The cheap man buys 10 pair of boots in a year, and spend more money overall versus the man who buys one good pair of boots, really sturdy, that lasts him twice as longer than the person who went out and bought 10 pair of cheap boots. So
what if they're cheap in the beginning? Like, what if you found a good deal and it was cheap? Like, I have this thing, like, I love white shoes, right?
Okay.
Right. I love white shoes. I like white shoes. So when they get dirty or something like that, I'm like, shit, I don't want them anymore. But I can tell you, I found them really cheap. So they last about every 2 months. Every 2 months or so. You can't wash them anymore. That's just the white turns yellow. You got to get rid of them at that point. Get rid of them. Okay.
So I understand what you're saying, but wouldn't it be way more beneficial to buy you some stainless white shoes that last you a good year that would cost maybe $50 more than the one pair, that you buying overall?
I like them really bright, James.
I like them really bright. So listen, if we ever want to get Danny anything, make sure you give him a pair of white Snickers or whatever he's rocking over there.
I can send you the link on Amazon, my friend.
But I mean, overall though, it's the structure of spending a lot of money one time versus spending a lot of little money, or just that equals up to a lot. Way more than what you would have spent, just that one time. And I was a part of that clan. I used to buy cheap headphones from Amazon, and they break. They don't play as well. Versus just going out to get the one pair of expensive AirPods. AirPods, I have no issue out of them. They stay charged. Things like that. Going for the cheaper product, thinking it's going to save you money when it really don't. In reality, it really doesn't save you any money.
Here's a cool little thing. Like my financial advisor said to me probably 10 years ago, right? He's like, take a look. This is when we still got our bank statements or our credit card statements in the mail, right? Now we can look on them online, right? He's like, look, don't shock yourself to death. Grab your statement, take a look at your statement, eliminate 10% of that bill. He goes, then next month, eliminate another 10% of that bill. Following month, do the same thing. So now you've just decreased your spending habits by 30%, right? Mm-hmm. People can deal with that. If you go in there and you try to say, okay, I'm not going to buy this. I'm not going to buy any more Apple Music. I'm not going to do DoorDash. I'm not going to go to Walmart. I'm not going to do Amazon anymore. You're going to lose your mind, and then you're going to get so frustrated with yourself is that you're just going to go on a binge and just buy everything, right?
Yep.
So he was like, take it slowly, 10, 15%. Look at your bill, go online, look at the last 30 days. And if you have 100 charges there, I don't know, 100 charges there, get rid of 10 of those charges. They're simple. I don't care if it's $2.99, $1.99, or $15.99.
Get
There is
rid of it.
something in there that you can get rid of, and
I
then
told
you can start helping yourself.
no, I totally agree with that. I use right now, if you're not using a financial a spending
Like a
ledger
platform or app or something
platform.
like
Yeah,
that.
Rocket Money is one, and Monarch. I like Monarch. Monarch lets you put as many credit cards or as many banks as you need on there, and it has helped so much because now every time Bernadette goes out and she spends $20, I get a little ding that says, "Hey, a $20 transaction just went through. You might want to categorize this as this, or this." So I know I can now categorize all our miscellaneous into a category like, okay, was this necessary? Did we really have to spend this $20? Did I really have to spend this $50? And now we can look at the breakdown monthly. Okay, our monthly spend went from 4,000 to 4,300 now. And then, or our monthly spend went from 4,900 down to 3,800. So where did we save that thousand? Where does the other $1,000 went to? We can now see it. I can now see it without having to go through piece by piece, and be like, damn, what was this? What was this $1.99? What was that $12.99? It helps me stay accountable of our finances way better than I have ever been. Because I was just the type of person like, don't spend nothing. Don't spend nothing. But now I can say, all right, we have an extra $20 here that we could put somewhere else. I'm not a control freak, but I try to help control the fact that I don't want
I
to be
got you
broke.
covered, James. Don't
Yeah,
worry, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I got your back, brother.
I don't want to be broke again. I come from broke. I come from poor. I come from financial disruption, where nobody and no one in my family I could call and be like, hey, help me with this. And now I'm the person that people can call and be like, help me with this. Not saying I will, but I'm just like, if I will, if it's necessary to an extent. But buying dumb shit with your money is something that we have to move away from, because a lot of us are out here spending unnecessary funds. On top of that, we have to, one of the things I was going to talk about, understanding your spouse. Understanding your spouse and understanding that the fact that your spouse have needs. And again, if we go into the word of masculinity, man, it's a man thing. Men take care of the household, men do this. Okay, sure. We're not really in that conversation right now. But should women, your wife or your spouse have some say in the finances as well? Of course. I think the wife needs to understand the finances just like you need to understand the finances. Understanding your spouse and what their needs are financially every month is as important as understanding the family finances, together as a whole. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know who they married. I'm not going to go out here. I'm not going to go out here and buy a new car without my wife knowing that I'm going to buy a new car. I'm not going to go spend $30,000-$40,000 on a new Beamer. And it's like, I come home now. We went from a $300 car payment to a $700 car payment because I felt the need to get a new car.
My wife right now is sitting on the back porch of her hotel room, and she is laughing her, what off right now, because she'd be like, "Oh yeah, James, let me tell you what my husband did. I went on deployment, and he went and bought a house."
But you bought it during a good market.
I go, babe. I go, guess what? We just bought a house. She's like, "What?" She's like, I've been gone for a month. I'm like, yeah, well, that's what happens.
Yeah. I mean, that's wild. That's wild though, man. But you bought it you got a good deal.
We did buy it a good deal. Couldn't pass it up. But no, I think you're absolutely right, James. You got to find out who your partner is in any sense, like in any relationship, like with Destiny and I, right? Like finances are probably more my thing, right? But Destiny is more of, holding things together. She takes a lot of the brunt of everything, like with all the arguments or I don't want to say arguments, disagreements with the kids and us and life and everything else. Like she really is. And she's the backbone of this family and holds it
Mhm.
together, and she doesn't get as much credit as she deserves because she does hold a lot of the shit together for all of us.
Awesome. Well, big I see you, Destiny, because Daniel just gave you all the credit you needed just right then. He literally saying that you are the roots of that family, which most women are. Most women are the roots of the family, especially if you have a woman who supports and want to see the family win. You know, I love the family that works together. The family structure that works together, I love it. I think a lot of us needs to focus on that a lot more in our society, so we can keep the money in our family to help grow it. Because I watch so many things, I see so many cultures do this, and they keep the money just keep flowing within each other and building each other, that it creates the family structure and value stronger. Now, I'm not against my daughter becoming a lawyer. I'm not against my daughter becoming any of those things. I would love to have a doctor or a lawyer in the family, you know. At the same time, I would love to know how can I be involved in your practice, just like I want you involved in my practice.
Yeah.
To some degree, if you was a lawyer, I would love for you to be a corporate lawyer so you can help me do my books and be there for me and get any in case any litigations or anything comes towards us. I would love that, but I think a lot of times we don't focus on that family camaraderie as we should in America. I think we lost that somewhere. I think we lost that somewhere along, the timeline, and we really need to work on getting that back. But yeah, understanding your spouse, and this is not the time to get divorced. I don't care how bad you dislike
Oh
your
shit,
wife.
no.
I don't care how I don't care how bad the relationship is. You separate, but don't get divorced, because you do not want anybody taking half of anything that you have, unless you can make it amicable, where there's nobody, no everybody go leave separates with what they have. This is not the time to be getting divorced. You know,
Well, didn't when the owner of Amazon and his wife got divorced, didn't she become like the third wealthiest woman in the world or something like that?
and then gave all her money away. That's the thing.
Yeah.
How you gonna
They
divorce
did our
me and give
stock
my
split.
money
Did our
away?
stock split, you know?
Yeah, you divorce me to give my money away to somebody else. I don't understand that. That's just
Well,
crazy.
what about Tiger Woods' wife? When they got divorced, she bought that house. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the number was. It was $5 million, $7 million home. She just destroyed it and built a new one.
Just
That's a
build the
lot of
whole
damn
new.
money. I'd like to have been the realtor on that and the insurance agent on that, my friend.
Right, right. But yeah, what's the worst that can happen to your personal finances in this situation, Daniel? What you think? But like, what's some good advice to give everybody that the worst that can happen with their personal finances during this crisis that we're going currently in?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I have anything to say what's the worst. I mean, the worst, like you said, it's spending your money stupidly, right? Um, you got to look at everything. Yeah, again, I mean, what I said earlier, take a look at your statement, see where you're spending money, because there is money that you are just spending that you shouldn't be spending, right? You smoke cigarettes and you're buying $12, $15 packs of cigarettes. There's $3 or $4 packs of cigarettes there. I know they're not as good, but smoking isn't good for you, right?
Period. Yeah.
Period. Right. So maybe smoke the cheap ones and it'll get you to quit. Right. Um, but again, James, I just think financially, I think right now we need to, over the next 12 months or so, just hold on a little bit tighter to our money, do some small, smarter investments. Think about it. If you can cut your monthly spending, not your bills, your monthly spending by 10, 15, 20%, that's money back in your pocket. You can take that, split that in half. You can buy gold, minerals, whatever you want, other put in your savings account, right? So that's my financial advice. That's what I'm doing at the moment myself.
Okay. I think the worst that can happen as well is again spending unnecessary money on new cars, clothes, because your personal finances should already be low. You should already keep your personal finances at its minimum anyways, because everything else should already be pretty much saved and pretty much categorized. So personal finances shouldn't be that butchered if you're properly investing. Gold, silver, your natural, metals, just the things that can actually make you more money in the future. Don't stop investing in those things now. I think that's the worst thing that can happen to your finances, is that you stop investing in the things that can make you more money once this thing is over with. So constantly take what you need to live, what you need, not what you want, but what you need to live off that. If your rent is paid, if your mortgage is paid, your license, your gas is paid, great. This is a great time to find a new diet. If it's costing you a lot of money eating out and ordering DoorDash, it's probably way healthier to go and buy a bulk of lettuce and some feta cheese and some light dressings and eat salads 3 times a day. It can come in saving money and being frugal with your money can come in so many ways that it can also not only help you financially, but it can also help you mentally. It can help you, physically, health wise. So start taking into accountability the amount of money you're spending on unnecessary crap in your life, because I really do think that we're headed in a bad path, and it's going to get worse in the next 10, 12 months.
James, I drove home yesterday, parked in the driveway, and I've got a truck that's sitting there, right? It's paid for, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, why do I still have this? Like, why do I still have this truck sitting here in the driveway, carrying insurance, paying on it every month? I don't need it. Kids both have a car. Wife has a car. I've got a car. Like, and I literally I sat there in the driveway. I'm like, why is this car still sitting in my driveway? Why? Is it is. So
yeah, if you could sell that
in money, right? I mean, right. At the end of the day, I'm thinking
ask yourself, is it an asset? Is it gaining value while it's sitting there? You're still spending insurance on it, $100, $200, whatever. I know you got probably cheaper insurance, but you got full coverage because you're the insurance guy. But
it's so funny because I sat there yesterday in the driveway when I pulled in. I sat there, I looked over and I'm like, is this an asset or is this a liability?
Is it an asset or like?
At this point, I think it's a liability. I'm not getting any more money. I could probably sell it, just put that money into my Roth IRA or buy some Ford stock or whatever it is.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
I know you would, James.
I would.
I'll buy some gold. I'm going to buy some of those little $5,000 worth of some gold coins and stuff.
I would definitely do that as well, because at least you know that it's gaining value just sitting there and not you having to keep dumping money into it as insurance.
My kids right now are like, Dad, but what are we going to take to the Bucks game?
Oh, that's the only thing you use it for is tailgating?
Pretty much, man. That's it. It's time to go.
It's a tailgating, and you can only use it for 5 months out of a year. So, right. I mean, honestly.
The for sale sign's going up this weekend.
Bro, I definitely dump it into some gold coins faster than you can say it. So, but yeah, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. If you learned anything, we definitely appreciate you taking the time out to listen to us, jump in the comment section, being active. If you have any questions or concerns, anytime, please interact with us outside of the video. Once the video is over, drop a comment in the comment section. If you haven't already on YouTube, like, share, and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can always be notified when we go live. Other than that, man, I think it was a pleasure as always having these conversations, and I look forward to seeing you Monday, man. Any final words?
Oh man, I hope everybody has a great 4th. Happy Cinco de Mayo tomorrow and a great weekend. James, just so you know, you didn't notice there's a closing happening today. That's why we're wearing the pink jacket, my friend. So this will be number 2 for the month of May, my friend. You better catch up.
I'm not even gonna lie. You may beat me this month, bro. I mean, on my goal list, I only had 3 closings for this quarter, but I was focused on more recruiting. So you may beat me, which means I don't mind giving you your $200 back. But overall,
I hope it's in an interest-bearing account, James. Okay, bro. If we're gonna do this, where we're gonna transfer it back and forth, let's make a little money on it.
Sorry,
okay?
I spent that on my new blazer. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but my new blazer, yeah. But overall,
is that your recruiting blazer?
This is my recruiting blazer. Yes,
I love it.
When I jump on my Zoom calls, this is let you know I'm serious. So,
all right. Let me know if your daughter takes me up on the transaction coordinator job when she gets home from school today. Okay.
Hey, there you go, Mariah. Yeah, you want that TC job? Daddy got one for you. All right. Until next time, everybody have a great one. Talk to you later.